So yesterday I read about a $25 million verdict in a tragic pool drowning case. It involves a best way power steel pool. And when I read about it and how the drowning happened, it gave me pause because I knew I had a similar type pool. I didn't know I had the exact same, at least same brand. I don't know if it's exact same model, but it seems very similar to the one at issue here. So let me tell you a little bit about the case, and then I'll talk about the pool. And actually, I'll show you pictures of my pool that I took this morning. So, in on August 3rd, 2019, a 2-year-old was over at her grandparents' place, and her grandparents had this um, best way uh, sort of collapsible pool. It says it was 51 inches tall, which I would think is real close to the one we have. We may have one, maybe it's 48 inches, but it's a pretty tall pool. And what happened tragically is the grandparents, they did not have a fence around the pool, which isn't uncommon. I don't have a fence around my pool, at least not yet. But they were very diligent about making sure that the ladder was up when no one was in the pool, no adults were around. Same policy at our house. In When the kids get out of the pool, that ladder gets taken out because we have our own 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. But the 2-year-olds, 2 to 3 year olds, are the ones you really have to watch out for. And what apparently happened is this 2-year-old um, kind of stepped up on the side of the pool and got her feet on a strap that runs around near the base of the pool and was tall enough to kind of push herself up and go over the top when no one was watching, and she tragically drowned. I've actually seen that happen in our place too. We have caught our youngest on the side of the pool just exactly like that. I honestly didn't think that she could ever get over the top of it, but now I know that's not true, so we're going to be doing something about that. And so the family sued the pool manufacturer and also sued, I think Rural King was where they purchased the pool. And I believe Rural King, from what I can tell, was able to get out of the case under a special statute under the state that applied that allows basically good faith sellers to be exempt from liability if they would otherwise qualify. So what kind of claim did they bring? So they brought a products liability claim, alleging essentially that this design, as designed, was defective. They weren't claiming that the pool wasn't made properly or according to specs or had some inherent defect in it. The defect was in the design of the pool itself. And perhaps without having adequate warnings on the side of the pool, alerting parents, grandparents, other users of the hazard associated with this type of pool. And so the plaintiffs pursued a products liability based approach, which varies by state. So I'm not familiar with the um, the particular products liability rules of the state where this happened, but I know from having litigated products liability cases in, let's say, Wisconsin and Iowa, that there's similar rules. Generally, products liability is a strict liability theory. What does that mean? It means that the manufacturer of a product can be held liable if the product is unreasonably dangerous, either as designed, as manufactured, or perhaps as warning, even if there may not be an alternatively safer design, although oftentimes there is. And so it's a type of strict liability which is different than most tort cases, most civil cases, which require proof of negligence, fault, something like that. Here, they don't even have to be negligent. This could have been a sensible design in all respects, except for the fact that the design, uh, as it is, results in an unreasonably high danger of harm or loss of life to those who would be expected to use it. And so they pursued a products liability claim against both the manufacturer and the seller. I believe the seller got out, and the lawsuit proceeded against Best Way, and the jury found Best Way liable for I guess 65% at fault. I'm assuming, I don't know this, but I'm assuming the other 35% was maybe against the grandparents, or some other adult that was maybe responsible. So why is this significant? Well, because um, I know from experience that this is a common pool design. So let me show you my own pool first of all. Like I said, I took these pictures this morning. Sorry for the grass. It's March here in Wisconsin, but this is literally our pool. And I wasn't sure the brand, so I went and I looked, and in fact, we do have a Best Way Power Steel pool. We've had this for probably 3 or 4 years. It's a big pool. We have a large family. It's been a good pool. I don't really have any complaints about the pool, but as you can see, it definitely has this strap around the bottom, and it's not like it's halfway up the side of the pool. If I had to guess, I would say ours is less than a foot off the ground. But that may be all that's required. So if you go back, you can kind of see sometimes for a tall toddler, that's all the extra height they need to get their arms up over the side and pull themselves over. And I believe that's what happened in this case. So something to keep in mind if you have one of these kinds of pools, realize that even if you don't have the ladder in, it can still present a hazard to young children, especially that 2 to 3, maybe 4-year old, where they're kind of big enough to get in trouble, but not necessarily able to appreciate the dangers to themselves. So if you have one of these pools, you might want to pay attention. Now, I don't know what's going to happen as a result of this. I don't know if there will be any kind of a recall, anything like that. One question I would have that I don't know the answer to, and maybe someone can answer, is the strap that goes around. I know it's useful during setup when you're filling the pool. It kind of keeps things where they need to be so that it maintains its shape and it can fill up properly. Are these straps still necessary when the pool is filled? Do they provide some sort of structural support when people get in there and the water starts sloshing around? I don't know. If it were safe to cut these things, I would consider doing that, but I don't know, unfortunately, if it's safe to do so for the sake of the pool. But that would be one way of eliminating the hazard to those around you, especially if you don't have a fence. Now, maybe this just means people need to put up a fence. Maybe I need to put up a fence, or come with some other design. I don't know, but this one really hit close to home just because, like I said, we have the same pool, and I can't, as parents, as grandparents, you try to do the right thing. You're diligent. You make sure the ladder's not in, and then to have something like this happen, that's got to be a real tragic situation. And it's pool season is coming up. People are going to be buying these pools, setting these pools up, deciding what to do. I have to decide what we're going to do with our pool. I might look into whether we can remove those straps or not. Now that depends on whether I may move the pool to a different location anyway, especially if I put up a fence. So I haven't decided yet what I'll do. I certainly be interested if people have suggestions or recommendations of things besides putting up a fence that you might be able to do to keep our kids safe from this kind of pool. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. um, Let me see if there's anything else. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's video, just because it is that time of year. It would be horrible if something like this happened and was preventable. I know we'll be taking a look at this in our house, deciding what to do about the pool, and I would encourage you and your family to do the same. If you are thinking about getting a pool, take this into consideration if you have small children, or of quite frankly, if any small children might wander onto your property or be over at any point in time. And just remember that if you have one of these kinds of pools, it may not be enough that the ladder's down. You need to really take care, watch out for the kids so that something tragic doesn't happen to them as well. So, yeah, I'll put details to those verdicts in the description below. If anyone has questions about any of that, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.